The first step to starting my Amazon business was using a product search tool called Helium 10, and that cost $40. After that, I spent $1,100 on my package and logo design with 99 designs. I spent another $1,100 on trademarks in the US, and I spent $60 on 2 barcodes. And I spent $39.99 on the Amazon professional seller account fee. I then found a manufacturer using Alibaba and spent $1,100 on samples. Once I received and approved my samples, I spent $5,500 to manufacture my product. Plus, there were a few other fees, and in total, I spent over $14,000 to start my Amazon FBA business. And in this video, I'm going to share step by step how I started my Amazon FBA business and what exactly my product is. But remember, even though this business made over $28,000 in revenue, this is not profit. And I'm going to share with you all the costs, all my Amazon FBA fees, and all the things you need to know before you start selling on Amazon. The second thing I'm going to share is how I did it. Because even though I did make a really big mistake that I'm going to share later in this video, my first Amazon FBA business still made over $28,000 in its first year, which is something I'm really proud of. And the third and most important thing I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share with you the biggest mistake I made. And this mistake cost me over $3,000. And this is a mistake most Amazon sellers make. So if you are thinking about selling on Amazon, stay tuned to the end of this video so you don't make the same mistake yourself. My name is James, and before I started my Amazon FBA business, I was actually working for Amazon myself as a program manager. However, I was laid off along with 10,000 other people in my division. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and after I was fired from Amazon, I wanted a job that I could have full control of. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandpa owned his own business, my uncle owned his own business, and I too wanted to follow in their footsteps. So I took the 3-month severance pay from Amazon and I decided to take the leap. What caught my eye was a YouTube video by Travis about how to start selling your own product on Amazon. After I joined his Amazon FBA course, I thought about problems in my own life. My bachelor party was coming up and I wanted to take all the guys golfing. The problem was some were great, some were not that great, and some had never been golfing before. I wanted to create a game that would help everyone out on the golf course have a great time. That's when I created my product, Bogeys and Beers, the golf tee-based drinking game to help golfers of all skill levels have a great time together. There are 18 tees in a box, and each tee has a combination of jokes, challenges, and drinking actions to help golfers of all skill levels have a great time on the course and not focus so much on the score. Now make sure to smash that like button because I'm going to share with you exactly what my product is and how I created my Amazon business step by step. It cost me $40 to buy Helium 10 to research my product. Helium 10 is a research tool that can help you find your product idea. But the key to making money on Amazon is to understand that Amazon is a search engine, and people go to Amazon to search for things they want to buy. The search terms people type into Amazon are called keywords. I saw 2,000 to 3,000 people looking up golf novelty products. If you want to unlock all the premium features so you can find your new product, click the link below in the description to get your access to Helium 10. And when you use that code, you'll get the biggest discount anywhere for Helium 10. I used a service called Packdora, which cost me $60 a month to create a 3D prototype of my box. And then I use that with Canva to give package designers at 99 Designs an idea of the product I wanted. After that, I spent $1,100 on designs. It was $800 for the design of the packaging, and then the logo itself for 19th Hole Golf cost an additional $300. There were cheaper options, and I did initially pay someone $150 to do a bare bones logo, but it was not to the quality that I wanted, so I ended up going back to 99 Designs to get the logo upgraded in addition to the great job they did on the packaging. I ended up going through 7 or 8 different iterations of the packaging before I landed on the final product. To get your package designed, you can use sites like Upwork, Fiverr, or 99 Designs. My wife is a pretty good photographer, so I had her take my photos. However, I did spend $150 on 3D renderings of my product. 3D renderings allow you to get different angles of your product that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get. I actually found this company called FBA Creatives that will do the hard work for you. They can build your entire listing, product description, and bullet points. Plus, they can create all your product images, logo, branding, and packaging. It's a one-stop shop for all these types of services. There's a link down below in the description to find out more. I then spent $50 to get a DBA, and after further research, I figured out I actually wanted an LLC for more liability protection. So it cost me an additional $150 to get an LLC. I recommend getting an LLC because it separates your personal assets from the business's assets in the case of getting sued. You could also get a DBA for $99 from LegalZoom. DBA means doing business as, and it is the business name you use to operate under for tax purposes. It's great for marketing and branding, but it won't offer any legal protection if you get sued. I tried to get my trademark through LegalZoom, and there was a conditional approval. However, there was a request for additional action that came back from the USPTO. This is a step where I made a massive mistake that cost me over $2,400. So stay tuned to the end of the video so you can find out what that is. Then it cost me $5,500 to get my product made by my manufacturer, including the packaging and the golf tees. I actually found both my manufacturers through Alibaba. But before we could order our products, I needed to get samples of the golf tees and the packaging. All my samples ended up costing me $1,100. This is sourcing over 7 different packaging manufacturers and 3 tee manufacturers. If you're looking to find a manufacturer for your own products, there are a few different ways to search for them. There is Alibaba.com that has hundreds of manufacturers across Asia, Europe, and India. You can also use thomasnet.com to find manufacturers that are exclusively in the US. Or you can simply start with Googling your manufacturer with the product type and the name manufacturer after in the search term. Before I had even received my product, I had spent over $9,000. That made me feel pretty nervous. I really wanted to make sure that this thing was a success. But then I remembered something that Travis said. There are over 180 million Amazon Prime customers in the US alone, and yet there are only 1.1 million active sellers. If you have a great product, there's a high likelihood that it's going to sell well. Travis has an incredible collection of YouTube videos, including a 10-hour YouTube video on how to create an Amazon FBA business. Click on the link below. His content has been an extremely valuable resource to me. I would not have started an Amazon FBA business without running across Travis's content. He has many videos showcasing his students' success and failures. This transparency gave me the confidence I needed to join the course, and that's a big reason why I wanted to share my story on this channel to help others follow in the footsteps that I followed in. But before I dive into my first month's sales, I want to share with you some of the additional costs I faced along the way. My next cost was $1,000 to get my product shipped from China to the US. 1/3 of my product was shipped via air and 2/3 were shipped via sea. Air is about 3 to 5 times more expensive than sea, so you only do this if you need the product quickly. I wanted to make sure I got my product in time for the Christmas rush, and I paid a 3 to 5 times premium to do this. I wanted to check the first batch of products myself, so I spent an additional $50 shipping the product from my house to the Amazon warehouse. Then it cost me $60 to get my UPC codes. UPC stands for Universal Product Code. It's the barcode on the back of any product that you can scan at checkout. You can go to the gs1.org website to buy one. Each one costs $30. And it cost me $39.99 to set up my Amazon seller account. The Amazon selling fee is what you pay to list and sell your products on Amazon. I was almost set to launch on Amazon, but Travis talks about building a tribe of people who love your product, who feel invested, and who will flock to buy it once it's released. So next, I actually spent $3,000 to help me launch a successful Kickstarter campaign. I spent $40 on MailChimp to collect emails. And on top of that, I spent $400 to have my Kickstarter video edited. Then I spent $300 on a website for the product, all before ever selling on Amazon. After all that work and effort, we built a Kickstarter campaign that raised $4,100. But I made a huge mistake that cost me $3,000. I'll share the details of that at the end of this video. But one thing I'll talk about more in just a minute is an add-on product that I created for my Kickstarter investors And this product actually ended up saving my business. I made $980 on my first month selling on Amazon. It cost me $163 to make the products that I sold in that first month. And $147 went to my 15% Amazon referral fee. This is the fee I have to pay to be able to sell on Amazon, plus $135 on my Amazon FBA fee. This is the pick, pack, and ship fee that you pay to Amazon so that they will process and ship your products to the customer. And in my first month selling on Amazon, I made, drumroll, $534 profit selling on Amazon. I felt mixed about this first month. I thought I would sell way more units. However, there are a number of factors to consider, including the fact that you need to build up your reviews in order to drive organic traffic to your page. After the first month, we ran into some serious trouble. Bogeys and Beers is a golf tee-based drinking game. This caused Amazon to suppress my listing, which means they did not allow me to advertise it using Amazon PPC or pay per click that would enable it to show up on the top page of listings for certain keywords. They also would not show my listing organically to anyone because it was alcohol related and promoted drinking. So no one was seeing my product. This was horrible. I contacted Amazon seller support, but this did not work. I had spent 5 months developing only to see sales crushed by lack of organic viewership from Amazon and a lack of PPC. In January, I only made $420 in revenue, and after expenses, I only made $228 in profit. Then February was worse. I only made $370 in revenue and only $205 in profit. But then in March, something unexpected happened that changed the tide of our company. We had revenues of $1,152 and profits of almost $638. The thing is, the Bogeys and Beers golf tee-based drinking game listing was still being suppressed by Amazon due to promoting drinking. What could explain this? Well, when we launched the Kickstarter, we had an add-on for hats. And so I created, alongside my Facebook launch group, these Bogeys and Beers hats. I did a production run of 50, 20 of which went to Kickstarter launch members, and the remaining 30 went on Amazon to sell. The hats sold out within a week, and Amazon was promoting them organically. This was amazing. If you or anyone you know or love likes golf and likes to have a good time out on the course, you can get your Bogeys and Beers products, including the golf tee-based drinking game, Bogeys and Beers, and your Bogeys and Beers hat on Amazon. You can click your link in the description below. In April, we went down in profit because we had run out of the small batch of hats that I had produced. But I quickly worked with my manufacturer to do a large order, and they were back in stock in May. In April, I made a revenue of $189. And in May, I had revenue of just $331. But then in June, the hats restocked. We made over $1,200 in revenue and over $700 in profit. In July and August, the business soared to even greater heights. We had revenues in July of over $2,500 and in August of over $3,400, leading to a combined profit of over $3,500 in July and August. Incredible, especially because the games were not selling very well. Over 95% of our revenue was now from these hats that were an add-on to the Kickstarter campaign. In September, revenue went down to a little over $1,900 due to running out of the hats again. So we only had profits in September of just over $1,200. So I ordered a ton more for October, November, and December. And in October, I was finally able to advertise using PPC. And then in October, with the combination of Amazon PPC being enabled for the hats and inventory being restocked, I made over $3,700 in revenue and over $2,200 in profit, with the business being 95% hat-based. This was incredible, and I couldn't wait for the holiday rush in November and December. Travis shares how you can harness Amazon PPC on his YouTube channel. And he's also got an amazing Amazon FBA course, The Passion Product Formula, that guides you through launching your product from A to Z. There's a link down below in the description so you can sign up now. I made over $3,500 in revenue in November, and in December, I had $9,000 in revenue from Amazon FBA. After removing expenses, I made over $6,800 in profit in November and December. I was amazed that the holiday rush led to over 300 units of the Bogies and Beers hats being sold on Amazon. So in my first year on Amazon FBA, I made over $28,000 in revenue. But remember, revenue is not profit. After taking out all expenses, I had a net profit of over $16,000 in my first year on Amazon. This was not enough money for me to support myself, so I did end up taking a second job, but as a side hustle, this was incredible progress. I am still selling the Bogies and Beers game, and actually the success of the hat in December led to record sales of the game. Although small, we sold over $450 worth of the game, but I could have made so much more if I had avoided these 3 mistakes, so pay attention. My first big mistake was my trademark, and that cost me over $2,400. I applied for a trademark myself and got conditional approval, but I was asked for additional information and I was unable to do so because I did not have the technical expertise to respond. So I quickly needed to find and hire a low-cost attorney. But then she made some mistakes, and the process ended up taking a long time and cost me a lot of money, and she was unable to get the trademark approved. She actually wasn't even a licensed attorney, it turns out, and if I had done better research and used referrals, this never would have happened. You can apply for a trademark yourself. Travis goes over trademarks in his Amazon FBA course, The Passion Product Formula. Now, my second mistake was hiring a Kickstarter marketing guru. This was a terrible decision. He had a podcast, I won't name names, but that led me to believe he was competent. The issue is competence in a podcast does not necessarily lead to competence in creating a Kickstarter marketing campaign. 95% of my sales came from my Facebook launch group that I created with friends and family who were interested in my product, and I was able to create a loyal following that way. Spending $3,000 on a new product is unnecessary, and I would definitely not do it again, especially with someone who cannot produce results. The biggest mistake was marketing, and this mistake cost me over $10,000. I did not realize Amazon PPC would be inaccessible for me for selling the golf tee-based games, and I did not spend enough time building a following on social media to promote the game and drive traffic to Amazon organically on my own. Therefore, sales of the game all but died. If I had spent more time building a tribe in the beginning and utilizing social media properly, I could have made thousands of dollars driving traffic to the Amazon listing for the game without needing Amazon PPC. I built my passive income business with Amazon FBA, and I know you can too. But if you want to grow and expand your business, you do need to put additional time and effort and energy into it. But I am not spending my time and energy and effort on fulfilling customer orders, which is a huge time suck. So I'm very grateful. I can spend my time focused on growing the business, spending time with family, and on an additional job that's providing me additional income. So this is a great source of supplementary income right now that is mostly passive. And honestly, without the Passion Product Formula and finding Travis's videos on YouTube, I would not have launched on Amazon. Travis's Amazon course, The Passion Product Formula, will help you start to finish to get your product and guide you all the way from an idea to selling on Amazon. It is nice to have someone you can trust who gives you confidence, plus weekly support with Q&A calls with a successful Amazon seller who can answer any questions you have and guide you every step of the way. I was in those weekly calls almost every week, asking questions and getting great feedback that kept me on track and launching my business. There's a link below in the description to join. If you aren't ready for that yet, Travis has a 100% free 10-hour Amazon FBA course on YouTube that you can get by clicking right here.